Part 4, sculptured figurine, zombie couple till death do us part. My sculptured figurine, sugar art sculpture. Ryan does everything. That's the show. And again, this is part 4, the build of the zombie couple, setting the scene. So, the first thing I did was make a bunch of fondant, and I actually made more than is in this. I used my own recipe. It's actually my wife's recipe. She's got a little company called Rexburg Cakes. And anyway, so I followed the recipe, put it together. It's very soft fondant, but it dries really hard, so that's good. The first layer was this brown layer around the outside that I was going for kind of a wood grain look. I used the shell tool and the little ball tool. Next, I put the black around the border, and it was nice. I made it look like boards going around this stage. Then I made this wood grain pattern, and I will show you in detail. It's the same pattern I used for the bride's hair. I'll show you that in a later video. So I started by laying out some boards, and after I got some laid out, I used that shell tool again to get that wood grain effect, the texture, and the little ball to put knots in there. I just covered the base of the platform, and that's pretty much it. It was pretty simple. I did end up running out near the end, so I had to make a little bit more to finish up this final edge there, and there it is in all its glory. One thing to note is that the judges said that I probably could have smoothed that out a little more so it looked like a finished dance floor. So anyway, all right, so on to the bones and flesh. This is a version of my fondant. It's the same fondant and this marshmallow fondant, but it has added to it Tylose powder, and I started with twisting around the plastic and wire frame, and then as you can see I started making muscle forms to look like anatomical muscles in the sculpture, so that I could once it was hard, I could just lay the fabric fondant over the top. I was working, started with the feet, worked up the legs, the back, put in muscles and bones and whatever structures I felt needed to be there. And here it is. This is the groom in this pose. And I went back and added some things. There's the chest muscles, the arms. You can see the biceps and the forearms and everything. I tried as much as possible to keep it to human muscle structure and bone structure, because of course this is a human sculpture. Then once I was finished with the groom, I moved on to the bride, and she was a little more tricky because I had done some things wrong. You'll see here how I started with her. So I started with the pelvis and the legs, and I didn't do the lower legs just because where the feet were, because I knew that the dress would, her feet would be sticking out and they would be a different color, and I wanted to have those as thin as possible, didn't want to build up a whole lot. Again, on this I tried, you can see the kneecaps, the leg muscles, just trying to match as closely as possible to human figure. I didn't have any models or anything to go from. I did have some reference photos. I'll throw those up here. Worked up the back and the stomach area until I got to the top of the shoulders, and then the rest of it I knew I was going to need a different color because that part wouldn't be covered by the dress. It would be bare skin, so I had to add that. You can see there I kind of bulked up her chest a little bit with some white fondant, just as some structure, and then I will eventually lay over it with a flesh colored fondant. So that is my build. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe for the next video and to keep up with everything I'm doing. Thank you for watching, and go out and amaze yourself and learn something new. See ya.